In this video, I'll demonstrate how to create a private subnet in a VPC. We're also going to create a route table specifically for that private subnet to allow us to route traffic to a NAT gateway. Okay, so in our last demo, you saw me create a NAT gateway. And so we now have a NAT gateway present inside of this VPC. So with that as our starting point, let's go to subnets here. We've already got our public subnet created. Let's create another subnet. And we're going to create our new subnet inside of the RIC demo VPC. And I'm just going to name it private subnet AZ1. We're going to place this subnet inside of availability zone 1. And so I have a nice descriptive name for it here. And we're going to give this subnet a CIDR range within the CIDR range of the VPC. So this subnet is going to be 10.1.1.0/24. And so now we can just click Create Subnet. And we have now created a new subnet called Private Subnet AZ1. Now, the first big difference between this and a public subnet is we are not going to automatically assign public IP addresses here. The private subnet is going to use private IP addresses exclusively. So let's take a look at our route table here for this private subnet, and it should be using the main route table. The main route table is the default for all new subnets that I create. So this route table really isn't going to work. This is local only. It doesn't even have a route to my NAT gateway. So our next step, if we want this private subnet to actually work, is to go to Route Tables and click Create Route Table. And I'm just going to call this route table NAT GW Route Table. And it's going to exist in my RIC demo VPC. Okay, so let's click Create Route Table. And now here we are in the new route table. Again, just like all of my other route tables, it's going to have a local route that's automatically created. Let's click on Edit Routes, and we are going to add a default route. Very similar to what we did for our public subnet. The route table for our public subnet had a default route, but for the public subnet, we were sending that traffic to the internet gateway. For our private subnet, we don't have public IP addresses, so we can't send the traffic straight to the internet gateway. We're going to send it to the NAT gateway. And we should just be able to click here and see the NAT gateways within this VPC. There it is, RIC demo NAT GW. We're going to select that NAT gateway and hit Save Changes. Okay, so now we've got a new route table specifically for my private subnets that are going to use the NAT gateway. I'm going to go back to my subnets. I'm going to go to my private subnet AZ1. I'm going to choose route table, edit route table association, and I'm going to associate this subnet with the NAT GW route table. And there you can see the routes. It's got the local route. It's got a default route pointed to the NAT gateway. So I'll go ahead and hit save. All right, so now theoretically, if I create an EC2 instance in my private subnet, I should be able to get internet access. I should be able to access stuff on the internet from within that private subnet. And it should perform a network address translation.